Something that maybe gets overlooked is the competition. You have these two banks in town. They can see each other. They see each other in town. They've got buildings. They keep building bigger buildings, and they're definitely playing off of each other. You had egos involved. You had if we don't get that deal, then the guy down the street's going to get the deal. And they both sort of had similar visions. That it was sort of it's eat or be eaten, and they wanted to be the winner and do the eating. We did some of the early reporting starting in January of 2008, where we were hearing a lot from people inside the company that they were worried about the option arm portfolio. We were hearing from some of the people in the front lines saying, these loans don't really make sense. You can end up having a bigger balance than you started with. There's a lot of pressure to sell them. I don't think they're right for customers. Something didn't make sense here. The drama behind the financial crisis is probably the most current and most exciting. For example, in Wachovia, you have Wachovia, this the fourth biggest bank in the country, is almost on the verge of collapse. And the CEO that took over for Ken Thompson, Bob Steele, he's literally going, sometimes under the direction of the government, is going from deal to possible deal. They talked to Goldman Sachs about doing a deal, and that was actually the government's request. Mm-hmm. And sort of at the last minute that falls apart. But there's moments where Henry Paulson talks about that, he was like throwing up in the bathroom from stress, and there's a moment when he's heading out to the podium to make one of the announcements, and one of the congressmen, I think it's Chuck Schumer, kind of puts his arm around him to make sure he doesn't pass out. I think people are starting to recover a little bit from it. It was really it was a traumatic event when it happened, because it just the banks are such sort of powerhouses in town. Whether it's giving to arts, every other person in your neighborhood works for the bank. Between the two of them, they employ more than 35,000 people. There always seemed to be kind of this can-do spirit of, worst case scenario, the banks will step up and chip in $1 million or something and kind of solve the problem. Charlotte used to have sort of these two rich uncles that kind of always you could lean on, and that's probably not going to be the case anymore. The one hope is that there could be a diverser financial services economy, and then the city hopes maybe diverser industries, whether it's energy jobs or we've seen a couple companies move headquarters here and things like that. So there is some hope, and I think Charlotte has a lot going for it, but I think it will be really a makeover that's still in the works.